Hey everybody, welcome back. It is time for some Petty X payback.
Okay, so if you know me personally, you would know that I have my petty PhD. So long story short, dated this guy, broke up with him on my birthday. The day after, he links up with his ex that he told me not to worry about. He's been trying to get back together for that whole week after we broke up. I knew he linked her because I saw the Instagram messages on my phone because he had his Instagram still logged into my phone. Knew. He doesn't know that I know. So I got back together with him. But that wasn't my intention. I just wanted to get back. So he came over, he slept over, and I borrowed his car while he was sleeping to go link up with my ex, the guy that I told him not to worry about. Came back home. He's still knocked out on my bed. I lost my breath. Hold on. Mind you, he still doesn't know that I did that until that guy posted on his story that he was with me the next day, and mutual friends told him, yo, isn't that Carly in your car with... And he got pissed. He's like, yo, what that? Have any of y'all experienced a delayed breakup where it's like, it's taking 3 weeks just to break up with this person? Like, you guys are arguing for 3 weeks. You guys are already broken up. But you guys are just, it's prolonging until it's like no communication. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So we had a delayed breakup for like 2 weeks. And within that 2 weeks, we had planned a trip. So I went on my little trip app and like changed the name of the other passenger to that specific ex that I linked up with, the guy that I told my ex not to worry about, that guy. So I took him on the trip while homeboy is here yelling at me, talking about I paid for my flight, blah, 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 this, because he paid for it. The booking of the ticket was just under my name. Shout out to you. Thank you. Me and him had a great time, by the way. So basically, the whole story of this is the ex that linked his ex. I picked up my ex in his car without him knowing and took him on a trip that he paid for.
What's that song by Blue Cantrell? Hit 'em up style. While he was scheming, I was beaming, the beamer just beaming. Can't believe that I caught my man cheating. So I found another way to make him pay for it all. I took my ex on a trip that he paid for. Is it justified? Is it? Was he gonna go on the trip with you though? Like, was it refundable? Did he have to kind of just take the L on that anyway? Imagine going on a trip with someone that you just broke up with.
Yeah, it's gonna be no for me, dog. It's gonna be a big no.
It's always the ex that they told you not to worry about.
Oh, she was crazy. Oh, he was just awful.
Do they live in your head rent-free? Why are you always talking about them? Move on! Have you guys ever had a prolonged breakup where it took like, you knew it was over, but it took a little while? Because you're still trying to work on it, you know? It's like maybe there's something salvageable here, but there isn't.
So my ex decided to join the same gym that I go to. And you know, the first time I saw him, it was a little irritating. I can't lie. I was like, why do you have to intrude my space? Like, this is my sanctuary. Why do you have to be here?
Because you live in his head rent-free.
Something really funny happened. He walks in one day with one of his homeboys. And this is a homeboy I've never seen before.
Is he hot?
A new friend that he is.
Is he hot?
So the weights I needed were right next to them. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let them stop me from getting these weights that I need. I'm going to go walk over there, grab the weights, and go and do my workout. So as I go over there, his friend looks at me and he goes, Mama Swole. And I'm like, oh, hello. Hi, how's it going? He's like, I love your videos. Can I get a picture with you? He asked for a picture with me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, of course. So he asked my ex to take the photo.
Stop!
He goes, this is one of my favorite TikTokers, Mama Swole. And my ex goes, yeah. Yeah, man, I know who she is. He's like, what? You guys know each other? What? Oh, that's so cool. And I'm like, yep. We know each other. It's pretty cool. But bro, if you could have seen the look on my ex's face. Oh, I'm sorry, but it's so funny, bro. It's so funny.
Was he cute? I ask this again. Was he hot? We already know he works out. I find it kind of odd that this is the first time he has ever seen you before. Like, I'm sorry, you never met this friend? Like, at all? Your ex never showed him pictures of you? Kinda odd to me that he would have no idea who you were. Well, he did, but in relation to his homeboy. It's always fun when you're a content creator and you talk a little online, and then the people that you're talking about just so happen to see it. I'm careful. I leave names out of it. Hey, if you don't want people to talk, don't be a dick.
This might be too petty for some of y'all.
Never.
And for others, you might call this a little bit toxic, and that's fair. But let me tell you how I got petty revenge on a cheating ex-girlfriend one time. Me and an ex broke up one time because she was cheating on me. And maybe it was the time or the energy or the money that I put in on the relationship, but I wanted to get my revenge. 2 weeks later, they're Facebook official and already moved in with each other. I came up with the most perfect petty plan. You see, she had one of those home phones, the ones that the cable companies make you bundle in so you can get the discount. But she never used it. Hell, she always had the ringer turned off. But she would check her voicemails every once in a while. So I found a few ladies, even paid a few of them $5 to call that number and leave a message for her new boyfriend. Now, y'all don't look at me like that. Y'all already knew I was petty. But there was a silver lining. You see, from what I heard, when she confronted him about these voicemails, he actually admitted to cheating on her. Karma is one petty...
Ooh, Karma. She's a naughty, naughty girl, isn't she? Naughty, naughty. I don't know why that is just so unbelievably satisfying.
What's something that's incredibly immature that you will never stop doing?
Ever since my ex and I broke up in 2016, I've had a very interesting tactic for revenge. My revenge comes in the form of email newsletter. Oh. So if I'm in the airport and I need an email address to give to the airport so I can use their Wi-Fi, I give them his. Oh. If I want to read an article and they need an email, I'll send them his.
Good.
Do I want to be updated about events and happenings in the company? Yes.
Yes.
Topics of interest? All of them. And he doesn't know why. Not a clue. And I will literally never stop doing it.
This is one of my favorites. After doing many of these videos, I've heard of this before. It's a small thing. It's a small thing, but there's something so unbelievably irritating about marketing emails. It's like every time I buy something, I click, do not send me promotional offers. The box is unchecked. And yet, why do I still have to go into my inbox and unsubscribe from thousands and thousands of subscriptions? You know what you could do? There's always companies that are incessant with the emails, you know? Like, they send a lot. Like, one a day, at least. Do it with one of those companies. You're still doing that 5 years later? Wow, you are obsessed with him then. Nah, I just want the free Wi-Fi without the emails. It's not that deep. Free Wi-Fi.
So this is a story time about the pettiest thing I've ever done. So it was my first semester in college. I was going to HBCU, so you know it was lit. I had my first and last boyfriend, so you know how that went. He was the first dude I messed with and whatever, da-da-da. Anyways, I found out that he cheated on me with his broke, after all the food I was paying for his, once again, broke, no credit, because I'm a good person and I don't starve, but I digress.
You should have.
Anyways, pretty much after we broke up, I broke up with him, let's get it straight. A month later, after we stopped talking, I found out that he cheated on me with the exact person that I accused him of cheating on me with. He told me not to worry about, of course. And I was more just annoyed because I was like, why didn't you just say that? Like, why couldn't you just be a man about it and say, like, yeah, I her and what about it? But anyways, obviously I was furious and I'm petty, so you know I had to get his back. So the HBCU that we went to was it was on Martin Luther King Drive, so you already know what it was like up in there. There were multiple dealers, if you know what I mean, on campus, like student dealers. There were also multiple shootings as a result. The security guards were in on it, everybody was in on it. It was very much so, I don't want to say it, but the ghetto. Anyways, one day at like 7 o'clock in the morning, they rang the fire alarms and woke us all up like prisoners and dragged us out of our rooms to have the canine police dogs search the dorms for any sort of substances. Mind you, there was actually a student on campus that had been in an episode of Beyond Scared Straight. But anyways, the security guards on campus warned the student dealers ahead of time, so like they were kind of already preparing for the dogs to come and whatever. And apparently during that time, my boyfriend stole from one of the biggest plugs on campus. most dangerous plugs on campus.
Oh.
And you know what I did? That's right. You know what
you told him.
Did. I snitched on that to the plug. And I started with the plug. Messing with the plug. Period.
Why is it always the ones they tell you not to worry about? I will tell you this. Every single time I have had an inkling about someone that they told me not to worry about, I ended up being right. Every single time. It's every single time. And they always lie to them. No, I'm just psychic. God.
Petty ex-girlfriend story.
I kind of want to share. I just saw a video that popped up on my For You page, said, what's the pettiest thing you've done after a breakup? Let me tell you my story. I've only ever had 2 boyfriends. The first one was when I was in high school. That one was like almost 3 years long. And then the boyfriend I have now. My first boyfriend was just like so up and down. It was never secure. I never felt secure in the relationship. I always felt just like I liked him more than he liked me. Anyways, he broke my heart like a few times. He like broke up with me twice. I think after the second time, I was so pissed off. I was like, why the f keep doing this? So like he used to leave heaps of stuff at my house, like loads of clothes, like he had toothbrush, everything. He practically lived at my house. Anyways, when we broke up, I think I found out some like through someone about something. I can't even remember what it was, to be honest, but I obviously got really angry. So I went at the front of my house where the little park bench is, and I grabbed his favorite jacket, his favorite shirt, a couple of his favorite shirts, a few other things, and I chucked it in a little thing and I set it on fire. I just set it on fire, and when it was done, I just stomped it into the bush and I just covered it up. And then it turns out we actually ended up getting back together. And he said to me, I remember him saying to me one day, like,
jacket?
Have you seen that purple jumper that has like the headphones coming out of it? Like, I can't find it. Like, I swear I left it here. Do you want to know what my response was? I was like, oh, no, I haven't seen it actually. He's like, yeah, I think I'm missing a few of my clothes. And I was like, doesn't ring a bell. Haven't seen him. And in my head, I was like, they've literally turned to ash. Whoops. And still to this day, like, I never told him, and he doesn't know, and he'll never know.
I mean,
unless he sees the video.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah, soz not soz.
He's gonna know now. He's gonna know. I think there's a fair chance that he might find out now. Honestly, you outdid me. Like, I thought that you were just gonna say that you put like a free sign. I would have given it to a homeless person. But no, you set it on fire. And then you got back together with him, girl. I will give you a pass because it was your first boyfriend. We are allowed to be stupid and inexperienced for a little while, but I hope you learned. The best thing about giving your ex's jacket to a homeless person, you should do it with a homeless person that lives near him. That way, when he sees the homeless person, he's like, that jacket looks kind of familiar. Toy with him a little bit.
Toy with him.
Oh, it's Misha.
Lessons in not crossing a gay man. So some people have asked me to do a story time on that crazy trend and me. So back in the day, I was dating this boy named Casey. And anyway, Casey and I went home to visit our families for the holidays, and then randomly in the middle of the trip he says, I have to go back home to New York City on business. So when I get back to New York City, he goes to the shower before work, and yes, I went through his phone, and I see all these nasty text messages and video of him having with our friend Robbie. So I went full petty, and I texted that video to his daddy while he was in the shower, and then I deleted the messages before he went to work. And then hands to God, while he was at work, I packed up all my and I went home to my mommy and daddy's house to figure out what I was going to do next. And then must have sent me hundreds of text messages. What the did you do? And I didn't answer to a single one. I've never spoken to him since. Oops.
Sometimes it makes me wonder, you know, when people behave really, really badly, like they cheat or they just treat you really terribly, it makes you want to know, what would your mama think about you? What would your daddy think about your behavior? Because I feel like those are the only people in life that can really kind of tell you what to do. It's honestly the perfect revenge. Because it's like, look at the person that you raised. And then they have to suffer with the consequences, right? You gotta let the parents know. I'm sorry, did you know that you raised an absolute menace to society? Well, now you do. Okay, so apparently this guy isn't an actual lawyer. I thought he was just the pettiest lawyer alive. He may not be, okay? Do not take my word for it, but I would still hire him as my lawyer.
After they divorced, the now ex-husband refused to give his wife back her wedding ring, which was a family heirloom from her side. As her divorce lawyer, I told her that we could go through the legal process and get the ring back in 4 to 6 months. But that wasn't fast enough for her, so she went ahead and sat outside his house while the maid service came in, and then she took the phone number off of the back of the maid's van. So she called the maid and she offered her $3,000 to go into that house while she was doing her regular cleaning and just grab the ring for her. After the maid learned what this guy had done to his now ex-wife, she didn't even want to be his maid anymore. So on the day of their little heist, while the husband is at work, she let the ex-wife into the house, grabbed the ring herself, and even let her take an upper decker in the toilet.
Whoa!
Now the husband came home and he's absolutely furious because he can't find the ring, but he has no legal recourse because in the initial divorce proceedings, he claimed that he didn't have it. So not only did she get the ring back, she got these crazy voicemails from her ex-husband, which made it super easy for us to go into the judge and get a restraining order against this loony bin. We know he has burner accounts that follow her on social media, so she goes ahead and wears the ring in every post possible to let him know that he lost. It's our way of saying, thanks for playing, we'll see you next time.
You know you done up when the maid doesn't even want to clean up your anymore. Honestly, my favorite part of this story, it's not about getting the ring back, it's leaving like a big dookie. Some people are gonna be like, okay, Amber Heard. Okay, Amber Heard. They don't call me Charlotte for nothing. Okay, no, but seriously, you leave a nice big dookie in the toilet. The best. The absolute best. Subscribe